Hey guys, what up? It's Dan from AutoMotivationZ here with my 6-month review of my BMW M5, my 2018 BMW M5. Now, as some of you know, this is kind of a big landmark for me. My last few vehicles have not lasted to 6 months, so this is something that is relatively big news for me. You know, a lot of people might say, well, oh my gosh, 6 months, that's not an accomplishment, but for me it is. So what we're gonna do today is we're a couple weeks shy of it, but we have had just the worst luck with weather. Today is the first sunny day that we've had in probably, I don't know, at least a week, where it's sunny, it's not windy, it's not super cold. It's 28 degrees out right now, which for some of you watching this video might be very cold, but for me, hey, I don't even have a jacket on right now, so it's pretty nice for me. And in Minnesota, this is not a bad winter day. So I wanted to make this video before we get more snow, because we are just getting pounded with snow, you guys. I mean, just every single week it seems like we have some sort of snowstorm coming in, this and that, blizzard-like conditions. I mean, Thursday and Friday this week we're supposed to get 14 inches of snow again. So hopefully winter kind of releases its hold on us a little bit, but for the time being, you know, we're stuck with it, so it kind of sucks. So some of the things that I really have enjoyed about this car in the 6 months that I've owned it. Number one, definitely, you know, the M1 and M2 buttons. So being able to, you know, toggle whatever you want. Mine in M1 is Sport Plus, Comfort and Comfort. My M2 is rear-wheel drive only mode, which I have done, but I have not shown you guys yet. I'll throw a video up of that as well. But it's rear-wheel drive only, just to kind of, you know, get it in its sportiest setting. I really like the fact that you can change that on the fly. You can be driving around in efficient mode and then hit M1 and you're in whatever mode you want to be. I really do like that. I enjoy that. Number two things that I enjoy, obviously, of this car, the adaptive cruise. The adaptive cruise in this car works really well. It paces the car in front of you. It does a very good job of it, and it is a little bit, I have it set a little bit on the comfort, I have it set on the comfort side, but you can set it a little bit more aggressive where it'll follow the person a little bit more aggressively, but I usually don't do that. You know, when I'm driving and I put the adaptive cruise on, I just kind of want it to work. I don't want to, you know, be so extremely, you know, up in somebody's, you know, rear bumper that, you know, they're, you know, brake checking me or anything like that. I really enjoy the speakers in this car. So the Bowers & Wilkins, like you guys have seen before. That is a $3,400 option. And it's something that, obviously, I didn't buy this car brand new, so I didn't have to pay for that, but it's nice to have. They call it Bowers & Wilkins Diamond Surround Sound. I would put it on par with what I had on the RS5. The RS5 sounded pretty dang good. This car sounds a little bit better with the bass. I mean, the bass specifically, there's more bass to this if you fine tune it right. If you leave it just like the settings from the factory, this car is actually pretty flat. And actually, I made a video, and I'll throw that up in the comments here about, in the cards here, excuse me, about how to kind of go through your Bowers & Wilkins, your equalizer, and kind of, you know, figure that stuff out. And of course, like when you've had the car for a while, you kind of start to kind of dive into that stuff and kind of figure out what you want to do, what you don't want to do, what sounds good, what doesn't sound good, you know? More things that I like. I do like that it has a CD player, and people might say, you know what, why do you care about a CD player? I still have CDs, actually. They're back here. Let me move my jacket here. Here's my CD case. So I still use them. People might call me an old dinosaur for that, but hey, when you got something that for some reason doesn't transfer over to the car, you got to listen to it on CD. So that's just how I am, I guess, right now. So I like that it has a CD player. I like I like the radio in general. The radio in general is really easy to use, and people might give me a lot of flack for that because I did put that in the 5 things I hate about this car in my X3M, which this is the same exact setup, same steering wheel, same infotainment, and same gauge cluster as the X3M was. But in this car, you're a lot closer to everything. It's a lot easier to navigate that. Once again, people might call me lazy, that I don't want to reach over and press a button to change the channel and not have it on my steering wheel, which is something I still complain about. The gesture control in this car seems to work a lot better, and I don't know if it's just because of where I'm at when I do that and go like that. It just picks it up easier because of, you know, where my arm position is, but it seems to work a lot better, so I've enjoyed that. I do like the fact that these seats, so I have the Silverstone seats. These are just the regular seats. These are, you know, not merino leather or anything like that. These are regular seats that you can purchase. Well, actually, you don't have to purchase these. These come stock with the car. I think these are very comfortable. I have taken a couple of road trips in this, road trips like 3-ish hours, something like that, because I bought the car in Bloomington, Minnesota. Not really a road trip there. So I took this up to Park Rapids last weekend, which is about 3 hours away, and it rode very nice. I mean, it's something that with the stock 19s, I haven't really had that much wheel time in those, but with the winter tires and rims that I got, those ride very nice. I've been very pleased with those. Other than the performance, it seems to be more performance oriented, so when we do have really terrible weather, it's been a little bit sketchy. And these are, I would say these tires are probably a 7 out of 10, where my Hakas that I had on my X3M, those were a 10 out of 10. Hakas will get you through anything. They do sell that size for this exact, you know, this exact wheel size. I've thought about getting them, but you know, it is what it is. Right now, I have the winter tires. They work well. I wouldn't say they work 100% the way I wanted them to, but they work good enough to get it through. And you know, just slow down a little bit if it's terrible weather out, and you don't really have to worry about it. You always got that person going 90 past you, you know, when it's snowing out. You know, those are usually the people who see in the ditch. Yeah, it is what it is. Another thing that I really like about the car is this kind of setup right here. So we have our traction control button, we have our kind of our torque performance, our suspension, our steering. I can change that on the fly, very easy to change, and then it comes up on the gauge cluster, you know, what you're in, and basically like that. I really do like that. Auto high beams, another thing. So right here you got auto high beams, you can see the little high beam there. So if you press that, your car has auto high beams, so at night you don't have to worry about changing it. I'm somebody who forgets to take their high beams off every once in a while, so it's something that I like. I like having that. Very nice feature to have. The engine obviously is one of the main, probably the main, if not the second main thing that I bought this car for. The 4.4 liter V8, the twin turbo. You guys, it sounds fantastic, and I'll give you a clip here of what it sounds like from the inside of the car. I mean, come on, really? And we'll just open the door. I just got a car wash, so I don't want to put my window down. We'll just open the door so you can hear it. I mean, have you guys ever heard an exhaust that sounds better than that? I don't think I have. A V8 with pretty much straight piped exhaust, it sounds phenomenal. And I mean, phenomenal doesn't even do it justice. It sounds better than any exhaust I've ever heard on any car. I mean, it just sounds so good. I love the sound of it. It sounds awesome. I love the crackles in it just a little bit. It's not the competition, so it doesn't crackle like, you know, keep going with it. It's just enough. It's like Goldilocks. We're just right. We got the middle porridge right here. I just love it. I love the way the exhaust sounds. I'm trying to think of other things that I really like about the car. I mean, I mentioned the seats. The center console is nice. It's in an area where, you know, your arm can rest very well, and it's not, you know, up here or way down here, so you're kind of, you know, scrimped into something that you don't want to be. Now on to the things that I don't like so much about the vehicle. So obviously, and this is this should be no news to you guys, I don't have my music controls right there. I do wish I had that. It just makes things so much easier. You don't have to mess around with the gesture control. You just go boop, 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 like that, and you change the song. It makes it so much easier. I don't know why they don't have that, to be honest. I don't know. It makes me kind of wonder what they were thinking when they designed this car. The second thing I don't like, and actually one of the things I really hate about this car, is how hard it is to erase a song. In the Audi, it was so easy. You go to the track, it has a menu, and you hit delete, and you can either delete the whole track, or you can delete the whole CD or the whole album, and it just makes it so easy. And when you burn whatever it is on there too, if it's a CD, you can burn a single track, or you can burn the whole thing. In this, you burn the whole thing, and then it's really hard to get rid of it. So one thing I do not like about this car is how hard it is to do that. Now, I didn't have my USB with me when I had the 430i convertible, when I had my service for this car, and I'll throw that up in the cards up there so you guys can take a look at that. If you haven't seen that yet, go take a look at it. It was fun times with a convertible when it's 17 degrees out in Minnesota. One of the other things that I don't really care for in this car, and this is something that, you know, I mean, I knew that it had this already, but it's this kind of wood grain, and that runs obviously the length of that, and then we have it on the side there as well. I would have much rather have gotten this with the carbon kind of, they call it like carbon structure or something like that. But having the carbon on that, because it just makes it look so much better. Not to say that this looks bad, but I don't like that. Down to nitpicky things, and these are very nitpicky. So for all the BMW fanboys out there, I'm sorry, okay? This is, and see, that's, you know, sometimes you can change the channel by doing that. I'm sorry though. I apologize in advance. This is going to be very nitpicky for the things that I don't like about the car, okay? So I apologize in advance. One of the things that I really do not like about this car is the brakes. You guys, the brakes in this are so loud. It's like a school bus. What was BMW thinking? And BMW knows about this. I know they do, but they're just not willing to fix it. One of the other things that I really don't like about the car is the coolant issue. So the coolant tank can sometimes develop a crack in it, and it can kind of seep out of it, and it can actually grenade your engine. So it's something that every time I go in for service, I say, hey, you know what? Take a look at this to make sure it's okay. It's easy enough. You pop off a couple of engine covers, you can look at it pretty easily to see if it's leaking. But you don't want to do that every day, you know, but it is a common failure point for this car. Another thing I don't like, and this is something that's just recently happened, and it only happens when it's cold out, is you see that SOS button right there? So this car has a feature where it will automatically call 911 if you get in an accident. When it is really cold out, and I'll say probably below 10 degrees, that feature does not like to work very well. And what's very annoying is that it'll pop up a message right down in here, right in there, where you cannot clear it. So you can't see your mileage, you can't see your trip, you can't see any of that stuff. And it won't go away until it warms up, basically, which is the most annoying thing I have ever seen. I actually, when I get gas and that is happening, I have to go in my BMW app to see how many miles I have, because it won't let me clear it. So very annoying. You know, like I said, it only happens when it's really cold out, but still, I shouldn't have that problem. The next problem, also again nitpicky, is my massaging seats. Now these massaging seats right here, let's see if we can't pick that up right here. Yeah, you can't really see it, but there it is. So the massaging seats themselves, fantastic. They work great. They work better than any other massaging seats that I've ever used, including my RS5, which is really the only car that ever had it. So not really too much to compare it to. but the massaging seats work very well. This button, however, does not work very well. And same thing, when it's under 20 degrees, this button will get pushed in and it'll just stay pushed in. Now, I went to BMW the last time when I got my oil changed, and I said, hey, you know what? Take a look at this and take a look at the SOS calling feature. And they quoted me $250 per issue to look into it. I'm like, I have a CPO warranty, that should cover it, but apparently it doesn't. So am I going to spend $250 on it? No, I'm just not going to use it when it's cold out. The SOS calling feature, I don't really give two rips about. I don't care. If that doesn't work, who cares? But at least, clear it on the center stack so I don't have to see it. One thing that I found particularly annoying, and like I said again, these are nitpicky things. It's not anything that's form, fit, or function of the car. It's just how the car is when you open up the center console and you go like that, you see how these pop up on each side? So if you're coming in from the passenger side to grab something in here, it's just a little bit hard to get in there. And I got all my stuff in there. But it's just a little bit hard. You got to reach all the way over this when it, usually they open up and, up like that instead of side to side. So it makes things a little bit harder to do, but not terribly hard. It's not something that's terrible. And like I said, it's padded enough to where it's comfortable to lean on, and plenty of room. So you guys, I don't really have too much to say about the car. I've only had it 6 months, so I have had a decent amount of time in it, and I have 35,700 miles. So I've driven it probably 8,000 miles, something like that. Probably 7,000 miles. And really what I found in the time is that it is a fantastic daily driver. This car is super comfortable. You will not regret getting this car if you're going to daily it. Very easy to do that. And with the winter wheels and tires that I got, it looks fantastic too. And you guys have seen a picture of my wheels and tires, but I'll throw some up again, up there. So you guys have seen those tires before, those wheels, and they look fantastic. The 706M, the black wheels, I believe it's like a $1,500 option from the factory if you get the competition. If you don't get the competition, I'm wondering if that's still a $1,500 option. I think it might be more, but I'll edit that into the video. So fantastic ride quality in this car. I keep mine in comfort pretty much all the time. I do every once in a while switch it to Sport and Sport Plus, just to kind of keep things lubricated, if you will, and just to kind of test out the ride modes and stuff like that. Every once in a while I like to have it in the sportiest setting that I can go, just to kind of test it out. The steering, you really want to leave that in comfort most of the time, unless you're really hardcore into tracking the car or something like that. Then you might want to have a better steering feel, but I think it's good enough for just daily driving. I think it's fine. As far as gas mileage and stuff goes, if you're buying this car for gas mileage, just get out now. Don't even look at it. The gas mileage isn't terrible. I think the best I've gotten, actually I can tell you in just a second here, the best I've gotten in this car is 25.4 miles per gallon, with an average of 21.7 and a worst of 19.4. And I'll show you exactly what I am looking at right here. That's my gas app. That's what I've done. And then this kind of goes through like fuel prices and stuff like that. The highest, 460, the lowest, 314, an average of 391 a gallon. And it goes through and talks about consumption and stuff like that. Fantastic app. If you guys have not locked that in, by the way, I'll put it in the information of what the app name is. So I mentioned things that I really don't like about this car, the brakes being one of them. You guys, the brakes in the summer are terrible. Absolutely horrifically terrible. They sound like a school bus, like I had said. It makes it really embarrassing when you pull up and you're pulling up next to anybody and you have a $100,000 car and it sounds like that. It sounds cheap, it sounds chintzy, it sounds cheesy. I really wish they would come up with some sort of something to fix it and make it so you don't have to buy different brake pads for $600, and then get them installed. Work on that, BMW. Come on, seriously. So would I buy this car again? I'm leaning towards no. No, I've said that I really enjoy the car. I do. There's nothing wrong with this car by any means. So once again, for the fanboys that are going to hate me for saying that I don't like the car, it's not that I hate the car, but I just like other things. Sometimes something catches my eye and I just can't get it out of my head. So for example, the newer RS5, the 21 and 22 RS5, or 23, but specifically 21 and 22 had the turbo blue color. Really, really sharp, and I'll throw a picture up in the cards here so you guys can see what I'm talking about, or in the video, sorry. The turbo blue RS5 really looks nice. Today, this day that I'm shooting this, I saw the Panther Edition RS5, which I've seen before. They made 100 of them. They made them in 2019 only, and it's a very special limited run of, instead of Mythos Black, it's Panther something metallic or something like that. And they all come with the same exact options. It's a almost $14,000 package. I found one that had 82 miles on it, and for something like that, I was like, oh my gosh, that would be pretty cool. I do miss my RS5 for the practicality. Now, I brought my dog up to Park Rapids last weekend, and I miss the fact that, I used to be able to throw my dog in the back, in the sport back, kind of area. She fit just fine, her bed fit just fine, and then I could load up all the stuff in the back seat. It made things a lot easier. I do miss that practicality. Also, when I would have stuff in the trunk or anything like that, it was so easy. I mean, because the trunk was so big, it was so easy to get stuff in and out that, it made things a lot easier. So the practicality of this car definitely was, called into question after I had the RS5. So what's next for this car? Am I going to do anything to it? Am I going to get rid of it? I've talked about getting rid of it. Me and my wife have talked about, having a lesser car payment, because right now I pay a decent amount for this car. The price of this car versus the price of like an RS5, they're pretty on par. This car, I mean, is probably about 20,000 more, brand new. But in the used market, these are pretty similar. The RS5 and the M5 are, they sit pretty similar. And like I mentioned, with that Panther Edition, if I could find something like that with 82 miles on it, that still has a full factory warranty on it, that car that I'm mentioning, 46 months of warranty left. Plus, if you get something like that certified, you're looking at a car that's, got a warranty for 7 years. This car, the CPO warranty runs out in July, and I'm a little bit nervous. To be honest, I'm a little nervous. If anything goes wrong, I gotta pay for it. This car is very expensive to fix. Lots of stuff on here that is not easy to fix. So it's something that, I drive this car very nice, but I give it some speed every once in a while. You got an M5. You can't just drive it like a grandma the whole time. So driving characteristics of this car, you guys, this exhaust, if you get this car, buy this exhaust. AWE track exhaust is the greatest thing ever on this car. It makes driving it just a gem. It sounds good, it looks good. Driving this car on the dry roads, fantastic, no problems there. Driving this on wet roads, not a problem there either. Driving this on icy roads, I will say the Redstein tires that I have are not the greatest on icy roads. I've found that out a few times where I have to slow down, otherwise I'm going right in the ditch, and that's just how it is. In the snow, these tires are great, and we had that one snowstorm, actually the snowstorm that I mentioned earlier in the video, the snowpocalypse that we had in Minnesota, like 15 inches of snow over 2 days. I was driving around in that, and I was in rear-wheel drive only mode, and just to kind of show how it still goes and how you can still function. But you guys, if you drive around in rear-wheel drive only mode, best of luck to you. It was okay. I could have made it around, but I would not want to drive on the highway like that. And this car, like I said, in every other condition is completely fine. It's super comfortable. I'm sitting here right now. I could have my massaging seats on, but I don't right now. But it's been very good. So if you guys are looking at a daily driver, cruiser kind of type car, this is very nice, and it will work very well for you. If you're looking at something that you can track, you can bring this car to the track too. Get one with ceramic brakes, and you can do that as well, or get one with steel brakes. They're easier to replace, they're easier to maintain, and they're cheaper. So there's that. Plenty of packages out there for these cars though that you can add options on real quick to this car. This car was, I believe, 115 grand, brand new. Some of the ones from this kind of, from this generation were upwards of 120, 125, 130. So the options, they stack up really quick. But you expect that in this price point. I mean, this car is a lot for the money that you get. I mean, this is probably, I would say, other than the Hellcat, this car has probably the most horsepower stock of any car out there, and it's all-wheel drive. To my knowledge, there is no production car that has more horsepower than this that's all-wheel drive. Now, I could be wrong. I am wrong. The Trackhawk, never mind. Other than the Hellcat engine itself in a vehicle, this is the most horsepower you can get for an all-wheel drive vehicle. I proved myself wrong within just talking to this video, so that is what it is. Sorry. If you get it ceramic coated, it's very easy to take care of. I bought some ceramic coating. I actually made a video of it. I'll throw that up in the card so you can take a look. But it cleans up very nice. I just have my rag that I got, my microfiber rag, and I can wipe down everything, and it looks fantastic. There's no splashes on it. There's no nothings on it. Looks great. Well, you guys, it's been 28 minutes, and I figure I should probably wrap this up. I could talk forever to you guys. I love talking about my car. I love talking to you guys about just stuff in general on cars. And I really appreciate the fact that you guys are subscribing to the channel, that you're liking the videos, that you're watching them. And it's super cool to see people, even that I went to high school with, that are commenting on the channel. So that's super awesome. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. Thank you so much. I really appreciate all of the, all the love and support that you guys give me. And it does not go unnoticed. I read every comment. I know that I say that in every video, but I really do. I'm small enough right now to where I read every comment. I comment back to everyone. I talk to, certain people about certain things about cars in general. So if you ever have a question, even if it's not about the vehicle that's featured, hey, throw a comment in there and we can chat. But with that being said, you guys, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate you guys, and I'll see you guys on the next one.